This 15,000 square foot space is empty now, but soon it'll be home to a Black-owned and worker-owned knit factory, Katy, New York.
I was a former dancer, and we started making dancewear. That was and it still is. That was our original mission. And I wanted to build a new state-of-the-art manufacturing facility, which is what we're doing here in Hunts Point.
This wouldn't be the first time Katy, New York operated in the Bronx. The business opened a factory in the borough back in 1987. This new factory will be located at the Peninsula, a new development atop the former grounds of Spofford Avenue Juvenile Center in Hunts Point. Co-owner David Lee hopes this will bring a new era of development without displacement, environmental sustainability, and community wealth building.
I felt very strongly about community ownership, having a stake in the community, having a real place in the Bronx. We've been in the Bronx for over 40 years, and I thought that part of it was important. So as far as the employee ownership, that's always been a major part that was important to me.
They're going to do is they're going to bring worker equity, so workers will own part of the business. So of course there's an economic component. If the business does well, the workers who are also owners do well. But there's also a social component around democratizing the workplace. These workers can design their schedules. They can design important parts of their work around what they do and around their experience. So it's also bringing in what we call inclusive economic development to the borough.
Here I get access to media, access to an incredibly coherent, together workforce. I get access to customers. I get access to talent all over New York City. Here in Hunts Point, that's what I'm going to get, and that's what I wanted to. That's what I wanted to build and see, flourish.
The garments at Katy, New York will be made of vegetable cashmere, a plant-based fabric composed of soy protein. We asked David what inspired this idea and about the process.
I've been a vegetarian or a vegan most of my life, and I started doing some research. We were knitting quite a bit in cashmere, and I started doing research on the sustainability of cashmere about 10 years ago, and I saw that this is not really a sustainable direction. And I started thinking, well, why don't you think about an alternative? What would happen, what it would look like if we were the leader in upcycling plant-based waste into new fibers, and if all of that happened in Hunts Point and here in the Bronx. And that's kind of what we plan to build here in this location, in addition to advanced manufacturing and making this the home base for KD.
So there's a social good from thinking about sustainability in fashion, but there's also a workforce and an economic development component around bringing those type of jobs. So when that type of manufacturing comes back to a place like the Bronx, it is our responsibility to support it and also to think about amplifying it.
Katy, New York seeks to provide up to 92 jobs by the year 2024, operating on a worker-owned model. They hope to become a leader in upcycling plant-based waste into new fibers locally here in the Bronx. Reporting for BronxNet, Sonyi Lopez.